Assalamu alaikum. This is Protusha Burwal welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Net investment increased by 19% with 61% growth recorded in first half of current year, says BIDA. Testimony on 14th day in case over Chankarpur killing during July mass uprising against 8, including former DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman, completed. No reason for confusion over next polls as interim government fully committed to holding it early February, says Law Advisor. Israeli military lawyers warn of evidence leading to war crimes charges against Israel in Gaza. And Youth Hockey World Cup to begin in India on November 28. Jersey of National Youth Hockey Team unveiled. Viewers, those were the headlines, and moving on to the details. After the historic mass uprising of August 5, the Bangladesh Investment Development Authority (BIDA) underwent major reforms. Several innovative measures have since been introduced to attract foreign investment. In the 2024-25 fiscal year, net investment in Bangladesh increased by 19%, with 61% growth recorded in just the first half of the current year. Describing this growth rate as very encouraging, BIDA reported that in the first 8 months of the year, the country received investment proposals worth $1.9 billion. To attract new investments and facilitate the investment process, BIDA has implemented 31 initiatives, of which 21 have already been completed. For a long time, investors complained about complications in obtaining security clearances and work permits for foreign investment. To address these issues and improve investor relations, BIDA has introduced several simplification and facilitation measures. According to BIDA, the ongoing global trade tensions and changes in the U.S. tariff policies have created significant opportunities for investment in Bangladesh. The government, it says, is fully prepared to extend all possible support to help business take advantage of this opportunity. Testimony on the 14th day has been completed in the case filed over the killing of 6 people at Dhaka's Chankarpur during the July mass uprising, in which former DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman and 7 others are accused. The next hearing for witness examination is scheduled for November 12. The order was issued today by the International Crimes Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Majumdar, after recording today's testimonies. The other 2 members of the tribunal are Justice Mohammad Shafiul Alam Mahmood and retired District and Sessions Judge Mohammad Muhitul Haq Inam Chaudhry. Today, the tribunal recorded the statements of 3 seized witnesses, bringing the total number of witnesses examined in the case to 24. Later, prosecutor Ghazi M.H. Tamim briefed journalists. In response to questions from reporters, he said, "Whatever happens in politics, the prosecution has no concern about the announcement of the verdict date in Sheikh Hasina's case on November 13. On August 5, 2024, just hours before the fall of the fascist Awami League government, police opened fire on students staging a peaceful protest in the Chankarpur area. That day, Shahriar Khan Anas, Sheikh Junaid Muhammad Yaqub, Muhammad Rokib Hauladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq and Manik Mia Sharik were killed. In the morning, 4 of the 8 accused currently in custody were produced before the tribunal." The Broadcast Journalist Centre (BJC) and the Reporters Forum for Election and Democracy (RFED) has submitted several proposals to CAC AMM Nasiruddin, seeking amendments and revisions to the guidelines issued by the Election Commission for journalists and media personnel covering the upcoming national election. Leaders of BJC and RFED submitted the proposals to the CAC at the Election Commission headquarters in Agargaon today. Later, speaking to reporters, BJC Chairman Raater said the CAC assured them that the Election Commission is not against journalists. He added that the CAC also assured that the Commission would consider bringing necessary changes to the media guidelines if required. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul has said, "There is no reason for confusion of the upcoming parliamentary election." He said, "The interim government is fully committed to holding the election in early February and all necessary measures will be taken to ensure a festive and peaceful atmosphere during the polls." Dr. Asif Nazrul made the remarks while replying to questions from journalists after a we-exchanged meetings with the judges at the Legal Aid Office in the Chief Judicial Magistrates Court building this morning in Rajshahi. "There is no issue to delay the election. It will definitely be held on time," the law advisor said, adding that need-based steps will be taken to make the election environment festive. He observed that political parties often make remarks to exert pressure on each other, which creates confusion among the general people. He, however, noted that some level of anxiety exists among people as no national election has been held in the past 16 to 17 years. As more than 5 crore people could not cast their votes during that period, the upcoming election is very important for them. People across the country are eagerly waiting to exercise their voting rights, Dr. Asif Nazrul added. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said, "The referendum must be held on the day of the general election." He expressed this opinion while addressing a views exchange meeting organized by the Jagannathpur Union unit of BNP at the Daulatpur Girls High School field in Thakurgaon, Sadar Upazila today. Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said, "The people do not understand the depth of the crisis the country is facing. They only want to cast their votes," mentioning that the BNP will ensure fair prices for farmers' produce if it comes to power. The BNP Secretary General added that farmers will be supported through a family card system. District BNP General Secretary Poigam Ali and other party leaders and activists were present at the event. Winter is knocking at the door. At the end of the month of Hemanto, winter naturally appears in nature in Bangladesh, which is also a part of the daily life of the Bengalis. Just as the nature changes, people's daily lives also change. The farmers' yards in rural areas are filled up with winter crops. Alongside this, the festival of the country cakes goes on. Again, sometimes sufferings also accompany people in winter. Alongside enjoying the winter, it becomes one-sided if we do not talk about some sufferings. Winter is actually difficult for poor people. Those who live in the open air have to endure extreme hardship. Many people, particularly the underprivileged ones, shiver due to lack of warm clothes. If we open the calendar, November is the beginning of winter, and according to meteorologists, it will not take more than 8 to 10 days for winter to completely set in. Now, international news. Israeli military lawyers have been warning of evidence that could lead to war crimes charges against Israel in Gaza based on intelligence provided by the United States. The United States collected intelligence of the matter last year, according to 5 former U.S. officials. Such intelligence has not been previously made public. Former U.S. officials described the intelligence as one of the most surprising pieces of information shared with U.S. policymakers during the war, highlighting doubts within the Israeli military about the legitimacy of their strategy. 2 former U.S. officials said the information was not widely known within the government until the end of the Biden administration, but details were revealed in a congressional briefing in December last year. Washington's concerns grew after this intelligence information. Meanwhile, Israeli soldiers shot and killed 2 Palestinians in an area of northern Gaza after they allegedly tried to cross the yellow line and approach Israeli soldiers. One Palestinian was killed. The army said another Palestinian was killed in southern Gaza by gunfire. They said the man crossed the yellow line and posed an immediate threat to the troops. The yellow border is an invisible border established under the first phase of the ceasefire. The Ministry of Health in Gaza said on Saturday that the total number of people killed in the enclave since October 7, 2023 had risen to 69,169. After more of the dead were identified and more bodies recovered. Israeli attacks have killed more than 240 Palestinians since the ceasefire deal came into effect last month, the ministry said. More than 1,400 flights to, from, and within the U.S. were cancelled after the airlines were told this week to cut traffic during the federal government shutdown. Nearly 6,000 flights were also delayed, down from over 7,000 delayed on Friday, according to flight tracker FlightAware. The Federal Aviation Administration announced earlier in the week that it would be reducing air travel capacity by up to 10% to 40 of the nation's busiest airports as air traffic controllers. Republicans and Democrats remain divided over how to end the impasse on Congress as the shutdown, which began on 1 October, continues. Saturday marked the 39th day of the longest shutdown in history as Republicans and Democrats still have not agreed on a funding resolution to reopen the government. Afghanistan's Taliban rulers have blamed Pakistan for a lack of results after mediated talks by Qatar and Turkey in Istanbul, but have insisted a previously agreed ceasefire will hold despite recent clashes between the two neighboring countries. The head of the talks on Friday without any resolution came shortly after the Taliban said several Afghan civilians were killed and others were wounded in clashes along the border with Pakistan. 2 days of talks were conducted in good faith, with the Taliban expecting Islamabad to present realistic and implementable demands to reach a fundamental solution, Taliban government spokesman Zaibullah Mujahid said in a statement published on social media on Saturday morning. During the talks, the Pakistani side attempted to refer all responsibilities regarding its security to the Afghan government, while at the same time it did not demonstrate any willingness to assume responsibility for either Afghanistan's security or its town. Russia fired more than 450 explosive-laden drones and 45 missiles across Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv, on Friday night. Some of them hit Ukrainian energy infrastructure and residential buildings. At least 11 people were killed and many more were injured. News agencies said 2 people were killed in an attack on an apartment building in the city of Dnipro. 12 others were injured. There were reported killed in a Russian attack in Zaporizhia. Russian attacks were reported in 25 locations across Ukraine overnight, including the capital Kyiv. The attacks have caused power outages in many areas. Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko said in a telegram that Russian attacks had damaged key energy infrastructure in the country's Poltava, Kharkiv and Kyiv regions. Work is underway to restore power connections. Now, sports news. Hockey. The Youth Hockey World Cup will be held in Chennai and Madurai of India from November 28 to December 10. Bangladesh is participating in this tournament for the first time. Bangladesh will play in Group F in this 24-team global tournament. The opponents of the Bangladesh, Australia, South Korea and France. The jersey of the national youth hockey team was officially unveiled today at the Falcon Hall of the Bangladesh Air Force in the capital. The jersey was unveiled by Bangladesh Hockey Federation President and Air Chief Marshal Hassan Mahmud Khan. Hockey Federation General Secretary retired Lieutenant Colonel Riazul Hassan, National Hockey Team Head Coach Siegfried Ekman, Captain Mehrab Hassan Samin and other officials were present on the occasion. The Hockey Federation President spoke about the preparation, goals and reality of the team. Bangladesh got a ticket to the World Cup by finishing fifth in the Junior Asia Cup held in Oman in December last year. The members of the national youth hockey team are Mahmoud Hassan, Ashraful Haq, Mehrab Hussain Samin,